Welcome, gentle traveler, to tonight's quiet journey. Before we begin, go ahead and settle in. Adjust your blanket, find your most comfortable position, and take a slow, deep breath. This is your time to rest. Let the world outside drift away like morning fog on a caravan trail. Here, there are no deadlines, no noise, just the whisper of history, soft as desert wind. Tonight, we're going to travel back in time, not to empires or great battles, but to something more soothing, more intimate. We'll walk alongside quiet merchants, weathered camels, and silent stars, along the long-forgotten paths of the Silk Road. This isn't a tale of kings or conquest. It's a soft story of survival, of warm tea shared at dusk, the hush of the dunes at night, and the subtle wisdom needed to make it across thousands of miles of shifting sands and snow-dusted mountains. It's a quiet lullaby of trade, trust, and the rhythm of travel. If you enjoy this kind of slow, cozy storytelling, I'd love for you to gently like this video. Maybe leave a sleepy comment below. And, when you're ready, subscribe for more calm journeys through the pages of the past. Every tap of that button helps us keep these peaceful tales coming. Now, let your mind become light, like silk carried on the breeze, and close your eyes as we begin. Let us journey along the ancient Silk Road, softly and slowly. The road unfolds before you picture yourself waking up under a pale dawn sky. The air is cool, the desert sand still holds the night's chill. You sit up slowly inside a simple cotton tent, worn but dry. Outside, there's the quiet shuffling of hooves. A camel grumbles. A pot clinks against a stone as the first tea of the day is prepared. This is life on the Silk Road, and it begins not with grandeur, but with quiet ritual. To survive out here, you do not rush, you move with the sun, you move with the dust. The Silk Road was not one single path, but a vast, interconnected web of routes stretching from China to the Mediterranean, through Central Asia, Persia, and the Middle East. In truth, you could begin your journey in many places. The markets of Chang'an, the grasslands of the steppes, or the ancient cities of Samarkand or Nishapur. But wherever your journey starts, you need preparation, not just of goods and gear, but of the mind. You might travel with a caravan, collection of merchants, animals, and hired guards. Safety in numbers. Some caravans were small, maybe 20 people. Others stretched long across the sand, with hundreds of camels and donkeys and carts. Before departure, you'd gather essentials, waterskins, tanned leather pouches, carefully sealed, dried fruits and nuts, figs, almonds and dates, hard cheese, flatbread, salted meat, food that could last. You'd carry a small brazier for warmth, and oiled cloths for shelter from sandstorms. Most importantly, you'd bring trust. Trust in your fellow travelers, in your guide, in your animals. On the Silk Road, betrayal was rare, not because people were saints, but because survival required cooperation. A stolen waterskin could mean death, not just for one, but for many. As the caravan begins to move, the world takes on a new rhythm, slow, measured. The camel's beasts of burden with long eyelashes and soft padded feet walk in silence, one foot after the other, a gentle sway, a lullaby of motion. By mid-morning, the sun begins to climb. The desert changes color. Pale golds become sharp yellows. You keep your head covered, your lips wrapped in cloth, your water rationed carefully. The breeze offers no relief, only the faint scent of dust, and the whisper of things long forgotten. Asterisk, you pass ancient markers, carved stones, half buried in the earth. Some are shaped like turtles or lions, others bear simple arrows. These are not road signs in the modern sense. They are offerings, memory stones, left by travelers long before you. They say, we were here, we passed safely. At night, the world becomes a different place entirely. Desert nights and campfire lights, asterisk the desert. After dark is a place of hushed mystery. Asterisk, as the final rays of the sun melt into the western sky, the caravan halts. Animals are tethered. Tents are pitched. Fires are lit with practiced easy-osing, dung, dry wood, or whatever scraps can be found. There is no waste on the Silk Road. Every crumb, every thread, every drop is precious. Asterisk, you sit with the others around a small fire. The tea is bitter-flavored with salt or butter in the Tibetan style, or sweetened with rosewater near Persia. Conversations are soft. Nobody shouts. Voices travel far in the dry air, and the night prefers quiet. Asterisk, you listen as your guide, perhaps. A weathered man from Bactria or Kashgar tells stories not of war, but of wind. He knows which stars to follow, which ravines hold water, which stones to watch for snakes beneath. His knowledge is not written in books, but held in memory, passed down by repetition, by whisper, by firelight. Asterisk, the stars emerge, thousands of them, more than most travelers from distant lands have ever seen. The Milky Way stretches above like a painted canopy. Sometimes someone plays a soft melody on a reed flute. Other times there is only silence and the slow chewing of camels in the dark. Asterisk, in the distance, you might hear the cry of a desert fox, or the sighing of the wind between distant dunes. But there are no cities here, no candles in windows, only your little ring of warmth, your temporary home under the stars. Asterisk, you lie down wrapped in wool, perhaps on a woven mat, perhaps simply in the sand. You face the sky. The fire crackles gently beside you, and you sleep not deeply, perhaps, but softly, lightly, as travelers must. Asterisk, there are dangers on the road. Of course, scorpions, bandits, illness, but the night doesn't dwell on those things. The road teaches you to worry only when needed. Tonight, you are safe. Your companions are near. The camels lie curled like ships at anchor. Asterisk, and in the morning, you will rise again and walk. Meeting places and market faces. Asterisk, by the time your caravan reaches the next oasis town, the world feels different again. Asterisk, the first sign of life comes not from buildings, but from scent, spices, smoke, boiled milk. You smell cumin, coriander, and meat sizzling on an open fire long before you see the town's edge. Then, rising over the next slope, appear the mud brick walls, low and sun-baked, of a small trading post nestled along the edge of the desert. Asterisk, it may be just a village, perhaps 30 homes clustered together around a well, but to a weary traveler, it feels like a kingdom. Asterisk, the Silk Road was dotted with such places, from small caravanserais to great market cities like Merv, Herat, or Dunhuang. Some were permanent settlements. Others grew up seasonally around stopping points, but they all offered the same thing: water, shelter, and the soft relief of human contact. Asterisk, inside the town walls, you pass stalls shaded with woolen cloth. Merchants sit cross-legged behind piles of wares. There are dates and almonds, dried apricots and blocks of salt. Wool dyed in reds and greens. Copper bowls, leather slippers, asterisk you. Here, not one language, but many. Persian mingles with Uighur, Arabic and Sogdian, Turkish dialects, Chinese phrases, and the clicks and whistles of other tongues long forgotten. The Silk Road was not a bridge between two worlds, but a braid of dozens. Asterisk, you might spend a night, here or several. You restock your water, trade stories, and listen. These towns are more than trading posts. They're news stations, memory banks, and rumor mills. Asterisk, a traveling monk from India may speak of rains in the south. A spice dealer from Antioch may tell of rising prices. A local boy might sing a tune no one knows the words to, but somehow, everyone hums along. Asterisk, you are far from where you began, but in these places, you are not a stranger. Every traveler belongs. Asterisk, silk, secrets, and soft goods. Now, let's pause and take a closer look at what you're carrying. Not all Silk Road travelers dealt in silk alone. In fact, many never touched the stuff. There was tea and porcelain from China, yes, but also furs from Siberia, lapis lazuli from the mountains of Afghanistan, saffron and glass from Persia, amber from the Baltic, even rhubarb and ginseng, cinnamon, and paper. Asterisk, but let us imagine for a moment that you are a silk merchant. Your bundles are tightly wrapped, carefully sewn in layers of oiled cloth. Inside, fine bolts of cloths shimmer, gold-threaded brocade, pale blue damask, and deep crimson weave as soft as river mist. Asterisk, silk was valuable not just for its texture, but for what it symbolized. To some, it was luxury. To others, a spiritual medium. It glowed without light. It whispered without sound. In Rome, early senators once tried to ban it, claiming it made people lazy. But demand only grew. Asterisk, alongside your cloth, you might carry ink sticks, tiny porcelain cups, embroidered, slippers, or coins pressed with unfamiliar rulers. And more important still, you carry knowledge. Asterisk, the Silk Road was not just a path of goods, it was a path of ideas. Travelers brought Buddhist sutras westward. Muslim scholars carried translations of Greek philosophy eastward. Maps changed, languages evolved, tastes shifted. Asterisk, you learn small things. That dried apricots stay sweeter, longer when wrapped in linen. That horses from Fergana drink less in cold weather. That a cloth dyed in indigo will not fade if soaked in goat's milk. Asterisk, and so, the road is a teacher. Every mile, a lesson. Every trade, a trust. Asterisk, you don't always trade for wealth. Sometimes you trade for warmth, for a better blanket, a thicker pair of socks, or a string of beads that reminds you of home. Asterisk, there is peace in this rhythm. Buy, sell, walk, rest, and repeat. Asterisk, mountains, monasteries, and miracles. Asterisk, eventually, the sands give way to stone. The flat plains roll upward. Your caravan now enters the highlands where the wind is cooler and carries the sharp scent of pine and smoke. You pass into the mountainous legs of the Silk Road, where snow lingers on the distant peaks and paths grow narrow and slow. Asterisk, this stretch is slower, quieter. Hooves crunch over frosty earth. Breath clouds the air. The silence here is deeper, more ancient. Even the camels step more carefully. Asterisk, the terrain challenges you, but the sights are rewarding. Carved into cliff faces are old Buddhist cave sanctuaries, built by monks and pilgrims centuries before. Inside them, painted walls glow with images of celestial beings, bodhisattvas, golden wheels, and vast lotuses the size of dinner plates. Asterisk, a monk in saffron robes might greet you. With soft gestures and warm tea, he offers shelter for the night. These monasteries, scattered like lanterns across the route, served as resting points for countless travelers. Even those of different faiths were often welcomed for out here. Kindness often outweighed dogma. Asterisk, you may leave an offering, a candle, a coin, a scrap of cloth tied to a prayer tree. Or perhaps you receive a talisman, a carved stone said to bring safe passage. Whether or not you believe in miracles, you feel lighter with it in your pocket. Asterisk, the high passes are slow and cold. You wrap yourself in thicker wool, cover your mouth with silk, and walk beside your camel, letting it carry the heavier burden. Sometimes, the snow is so quiet, it feels like you're walking through a painting. There is no sound except breath and the occasional soft jingle of a harness. Asterisk, even in hardship, there is beauty. An eagle gliding on the wind, icicles catching the sun like shards of glass, and always the stars above, steady, familiar, like old friends watching from afar. Asterisk, the journey's end, and the gentle return. Asterisk, every journey has an end. And as the road flattens once more, you begin to sense it. Asterisk, the sun sets behind you now. The air feels different, humid, fragrant with unfamiliar blossoms. You reach a great city at the western edge of the route. Perhaps it's Antioch, Byzantium, or Kashan, a place where east and west mingle with quiet grace. Asterisk, here, grand caravanserais await, massive courtyards with arched halls and cool fountains. You hand off your camel to a stable boy, and the weight, both physical and invisible, lifts from your shoulders. You are not a traveler anymore. You are a guest. Asterisk, you wash your hands in a marble basin. A robe is offered. You sit on a low cushion, beside a tiled wall, sipping warm pomegranate tea. It's sweeter than you remember. Or perhaps you've simply changed. Asterisk, your goods are traded. Silk for silver, tea for lapis, words for stories. But the most valuable thing you've brought is not in your packets, in your memory. Asterisk, the long days of walking, the warm nights of quiet song, the faces of those who shared your fire, the little skills and rituals you've learned, how to light a fire in wind, how to fold a saddle blanket just so, how to say peace in 5 languages. Asterisk, some travelers continue on toward new ports, new oceans, but perhaps you rest here. You write letters. You light candles for those you met. You sit on a rooftop and listen to the city hum like a living instrument. And when you sleep, you do so without fear. The road has shaped you gently, like river water shaping stone. Asterisk, you have survived the Silk Road, not just by endurance, but by softness, by patience, by listening. And now, as your eyes grow heavy, let that same softness carry you to sleep. Asterisk, you are safe. You are home. You have traveled far enough for now. Asterisk, good night, dear traveler. Sleep well.